Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and riveting, amazing Propagandacast. Me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master of propaganda. Off here to our 1-1 owner, Langraskaya. In the north, it is Forest, fighting for the Oberkommandist Germany, Deutschland, taking on the role here of the 10th SS Panzerdivision Hohenstaufen. Or is it Frundsberg? I never quite can't get those right. In the south, it is Augustine, fighting for King and Country, the Commonwealth, the 1st Canadian Infantry Division. We got here Overwatch, Luftwaffe Ground Forces, and Grand Defense with Triple Infantry versus Augustine's Royal Engineer Regiment with Triple Infantry as well. Interesting pick there with Royal Engineers early on. Usually figures something a bit more offensively, but does give access to some earlier tools in theory as well, if he goes for fast flamethrowers. Double section University start here for Augustine, who is a rank, I think, 25, 26 or so British players, so certainly no slouch when it comes to sipping tea and starting colonies. University, they're halfway done for Augustine. Section setting out, ground points here. Double focus start there for Forest, with Overwatch, Luftwaffe Ground Forces, of course, ground offensive. Certainly a nice bit of takedown. Already mentioned that one, but anyways, never hurt to, I suppose, reiterate it. I mean, certainly we've sort of considered what would be the best counter pick here to run units. I mean, there's not really any sort of clear answer. I mean, you could try and push harder for Luftwaffe Ground Forces, get an early advantage in, since Royal Engineers is a much slower doctrine to get going, or in theory go for ground offensive, try and meet hard with heart there with his own sort of late game, as ground offensive is a stronger late game doctrine as well. Overwatch, I guess, but that one just kind of feels over here and there, so not quite there. They got the University out here, quickly moving up to support the section as Forest as Sturm Pioneers in hot pursuit of the assault rifles blazing off. There you go, University being charged in to slightly disrupt the Sturm Pioneers formation, give the section a bit more chance to shoot them down. Aggressive play there by Augustine. Honestly, Forest probably just retreated back once he saw the Langraskaya coming charging at him like a rampaging bull. That's been hopped on T. We got full service section in the west. Aggressive push across the front here of Forest. Does mean, of course, he can press a broader front against Augustine, but it does mean he's more vulnerable, say, enough for some in the center where Augustine's making a hard push. Also, as always, please remember to like and subscribe and share and press that bell button so more people more likely to see the video, but also you are more likely to see the video. So you don't do yourself a favor, do me a favor as well. Or vice versa. Looking up on the eastern side, note he's not really sort of immediately reacting to this. He's still trying to ensure that he does enough territory connected to a worthwhile fight over for. We'll have to see what it goes for next. Not much of a fast track doing anything. Does not focus on have elite armored, which could be a good move to push out a fast 2-2-1 here versus Augustine. So I'm guessing, besides the Kedma, probably some more focus down the road. Like Kedma will be there, of course, to deal with the universal carrier. Now it does seem to be wearing off here, possibly to the presence of the British, or maybe want to try and flank up out here. I mean, right now Augustine is definitely building up a notable advantage of his Fortress and the early game resources, and that's going to be something Fortress wants to deal with fast, because the British is kind of the faction that can really just snowball very fast due to very low tech costs and overall streamlined tech structure. Oh, on the other hand, if it gets a section wipe here, that was a bad call there by Augustine. That's going to be pretty big there for Fortress, and so obviously that means Augustine's are just to 2 sections and a universal carrier. That's pretty big there for Fortress. Should help, I think, nicely compensate there from the initial mishaps here from Augustine. There you go, pushing 1 infantry, Fortress going straight ahead. He's going to go for Augustine's calf point. He's going to return the favour. And he's going to show those Insel Afton who is the boss. Oh, no, he cancelled. He's going to go for fast track mining kit battle headquarters. Or he's already planning a mechanized regiment. I would say that is a awfully early one and does not think require you cancelling the full Scandinavian escort. So it seems like a very early battle group headquarters here from Forest, which is an interesting strategy from the Oberkommando West. And not one you see a lot, but it might be. It's basically based off the fact he got an early section wipe. And he's just thinking like he might be able to get off some stuff there that might always work. We got bolted sections here for Augustine. We got the third one on the way there. Truck moving out. And yeah, battle group headquarters here for Fortress. Might be he's planning a fast flak half track or fast line gun here versus Augustine. We'll have to see. Kedma's using points here, but he's taking advantage of the initial momentum just off that wipe. It's basically caused like a small vacuum in Augustine's front line, as again he just has to replace losses. He's trying to compensate for this by going hard on Fortress's resources. And Fortress commits to Luftwaffe Ground Forces. 5 Semegas can be seen on the horizon eventually. Again, moving about. 4th section of Augustine, he's committing very heavily to infantry, obviously. Certainly one of the British strengths, just lots of sections with lots of numbers. University here is the full Grenadiers. Akenov shoots and spectacular misses, blowing apart a innocent fence. Second rocket though, or fence, I don't know, maybe a crate. That was definitely something he wouldn't have went kaboom. Langraskaya gets away, like everyone's looking out, finding him for the western fuel point, eastern fuel point there. Sturmpani successfully assail the section and rout it. And here in the west, we've got more fighting here. So far, aggressive fighting over the sides, a bit more in the centre as well. Both players, you might notice, are not just, doggedly trying to just wear down one point. They're looking to outmaneuver the other player, even the British players are. So, good play on both sides, even if, Augustine is committing heavily to infantry. He's not doing it in such a manner they just seem silly. So, he's actually seemingly somewhat skilled. Saber's halfway down there for Augustine. Falchi makes his way there for Forrest. Obviously, assault infantry tends to work quite well as the British. Mines up here, note by the sandbags. So if Augustine tries to rush the fuel point, use the sandbags, someone's going to lose some feet. Moving up there, he's probably expecting the Langraskaya to push for the Sturmpaniers, and he's probably good read in the situation, considering the Sturmpaniers at least appear isolated and unsupported. So Akedma being rushed up there is a pretty neat move. Back here, reinforcement. We got healing up as well there for Forrest. Falchi makes hitting the centre victory point, and there you go. Sturmpaniers heading up into the cover leg down. Akedma setting up. Oh! And there we go. Forrest punishes Augustine there. Nice little play there by Forrest. Good read there, Augustine. Very good read. And certainly if you can get a good reading your opponent, that can allow you to pull off those sorts of moves. So thumbs up there to Forrest. Quickly sounding as well there. So not only just take out Langraskaya, he napped himself 5 more fuel. That's pretty good there for Forrest. That is very good. We got Sabbath's little flamethrower, so clearly Augustine is aiming for something somewhat aggressive, but at the same time not commandos kicking in your door aggressive. Ground the point here. Falchi makes lead the way there for the fatherland. In the west, we've got Fultondies versus the section, pushing them back here. There we go, mine goes over the sappers, and he was waiting for the Sturmpaniers for exactly that moment, so he can quickly rush them down with stun grenades and assault rifles. Again, another clever play there of Forrest, clearly veteran experienced players, even calling in Falchimakers, just in case the mine and the Sturmpaniers stun grenade were not sufficient to overcome the sappers. He had Falchimakers in reserve. In fact, oh no, he wasn't in reserve, in fact set up to recover the retreat path. Clever. Either way though, good play there, Forrest, a man who clearly possesses a great deal of foresight and can plan several steps ahead there. Doing otherwise intense fighting against the British foe. 2 thumbs up there to Forrest, certainly something I think that's always worth trying to acquire yourself amongst your skill sets. Sappers here, 2 seconds scored up, probably going to go for flamethrowers on that one as well once he can, but right now the sappers are more busy dying. That's the Falchimakers display their high pedigree there against the lowly Britishman. Or Englishmen. Britishmen. Yeah. Section sappers moving in there, going to flush out those Falchimakers. The Falchimakers, there we go, popping a bomb grenade. Blowing apart an outhouse. But no Tommies with that one, unless there was someone using that. Good lord, those beams! I don't think there were beams, Terrence. Oh. Can someone get me some new trousers? Mine seem to have exploded. Fulton there being pushed here back by British troops. Need to retreat that section that is incredibly low in health. Dangerously so. Dangerously so, I mean. They're going to need more than a new pair of trousers if they don't get out of there soon. Now they're trying to wait for Forrest, a fast rear punted quarters. Turning that awkward early state into a good sort of fast rear punted quarters here. Capitalizing on his ability to punish Augustine there from overextending. I'm just using those Falchimakers very aggressively. Just quickly push back there and sort of gain good control of the resources. 2 thumbs up there to Forrest again. Augustine, of course, is the British. He does have some potential here, but for now, he is in a tight spot and we'll have to see what he does here. What? He just blew up that cover. I'm guessing there's something. I mean, I guess he might have just done it because he could, but I'm guessing there's some sort of purpose. I'm just briefly stunned as to what it is. We can see that Augustine's strategy is now beginning to come together, and it's a lot of flamethrowers and 5-man sections with Sten guns. There you go, another bomb grenade round to Augustine's sappers, and there you go, huge chunks of British infantry torn from this very pixelated earth. Section moving up, negating the Falchimakers there, quite brutally, and there you go, barbed wire here as well. Sappers will need to retreat soon. Shroud punter calls up here by the fuel point, got there by Forrest. Augustine going for Vickers machine gun. I would say probably a bit on the later side for that one. Probably shouldn't have gone for the third sapper section, but just Vickers faster. He may also need to enter tank gun soon because Forrest at this rate is likely going to hit him with tanks. German infantry push here. Forrest just keeps up the aggressive maneuvers as Augustine is just desperately trying to catch up here with Forrest, and it's just absolutely daring raids. Sappers getting ready for another push. Flamethrowers there, not quite there. We got the Vickers almost done. That's certainly going to help us. The Fallschirmjäger can catch them with it. And certainly also as the Volksgunde in the Sturmpionier unit. Schwerpanzergruppe quarters up. Now just needs to be authorized to actually shoot its gun and call in tanks. Fallschirmjäger there by the car point. Vickers machine gun being hauled up. Troops being reinforcing. Sabers ready for the next big push for King and Country. They're coming off. There you go. Fallschirmjägers being hosed down by the Vickers. Bun grenade off there, causing incredible harm to the Vickers machine gun crew. But they keep fighting for King and Country for tea and biscuits. Forward to the section here. So right now, Flores is just keeping that oppression. Augustine again lacking that early machine. Has been struggling to keep down the momentum of Flores at times. Also with all his munitions going towards flamethrowers, he's also been unable to lay down mines, which could also be another way of sort of slowing down any momentum from Flores. Flores now adding in Obersoldaten. He's not just content for the elite Fallschirmjäger, he wants the elite Obersoldaten. Folks, there was the section here fighting it out. We got troops moving up eastwards here, trying to spread out his frontage there. Now they sort of perhaps got a bit more freedom of maneuver there, thanks to the Vickers, possibly. Sturmpioneers routed, flamethrowers and British infantrymen not something you want to be assaulted by when you're just in your own. Obersoldaten squad almost done. Pushing eastwards, though of course they'll soon learn of the Schwerpanzergruppe quarters and its position. Sappers in the centre. Grab the western point here. Very good action so far. We'll have to see what it's going to go for next. Try and take out fast for some faster tanks. And he's been quite struck in fuel. Thanks again. Flores is absolutely daring in for the manoeuvres. Obersoldaten moving up there. Light machine away there. The LMG 34. There goes Sappers though, opening up in return with a flamethrower. Interesting move he actually popped in. The Obersoldaten, despite knowing there's a flamethrower, I mean, they were right next to the victory point. There's no way Flores could have been knowing that. I mean, I guess it could have been a reflex, less like, you know, just get in there. But Herr Hauptmann, they have flamethrowers. I don't hear you. Get in there. Going for the carve point there, trying to turn the tide further here versus Flores. Definitely a good maneuver there. Section versus double Fallschirmjägers. That's going to be a course to retreat unless he has a grenade or the Vickers. And he does have the Vickers. But in this case, though, a bit of light cover there. Makes it hard for it to suppress. There you go, both squads down, but still there's a chance of bung grenades. On the other hand, if not, that should be a win there for Augustine. As there we go, Flores' men are pushed back. Vickers getting met into one. Heavy casualty there for Flores' Fallschirmjäger assault. Section Sappers then trouble though. Obersoldaten moving in, pursuing with a light machine gun in hand. No, German infantry were trained to fire the LMG 34, probably the MG42 as well from a standing position. That's known as Sturmfire or assault fire. I'm not so sure they could do it while moving, but they sort of had like a special posture and then they sort of fired there. They also, I believe, had a training sort of maneuver for how to do it, use it like using a shorter person and stuff like that. Like there are a lot of things there. For example, they're also trained like positioning the machine gun on someone else's shoulders and using set person as a support for the machine gun. Clever. Second biggest then. That's going to give Augustine really good ways now controlling all of Flores' infantry, but as he's now finally dealing with infantry, there is the slight issue of tanks heading his way. And he doesn't have any anti-tankers, and most he can sort of master 2 anti-tank grenades at any point in time, so things are going to get tricky there for Augustine nonetheless here alongside the 1st Canadian Infantry Division. Sappers there versus Falcon is doing heavy damage, pushing them back here. 2 squads filled with hardened British infantry. Healing, reinforcing. Might want to advance that Vickers a bit further now so it can sort of cover a bit more ground. You got 465 to 398. Ooh, mine went off by the sound of it. Well, at least something exploded, but I'm not entirely sure what.
We're losing a capture point.
Troops going on the west side. Again, he's going to hit that fuel point constantly until Augustine puts his foot down and says no more. Line of gun there for Flores. In response here to Augustine bringing up a lot of machine guns. Good move there. Basil the cat moving in. Wants some attention. Because he's a nice little kitty. Occasionally. 5 meters there versus the section. Section easily routed. Yes, Basil. They were routed. No, Basil. There you go. Panther though for Flores. And of course, Augustine very much worth keeping in mind. There has no anti-tank weapons at the moment. Again, at most, he can just chunk a lot of anti-tank grenades out. I hope that's enough. Worth noting is not upgrade the 3rd Sapper section. Might worry in case that Flores can chunks down a lot of mines or chucks them down. But so far, no sign of that. No sign of that. Biggest guy in the centre. There you go. Nice flank here on the Volksgunde. Small chance of getting a wipe here, I think, for Augustine. Small, but not negligible. So we had grenades research, and he's got plenty of munitions for that, so I mean, he could consider it. Finally got taken there for Augustine as well. Might be able to go for fast tank. Oh, so close there for Augustine. So close. So we now got all of a sudden the Fox magazine getting the sappers out in the open. Need to retreat those sappers, I think. They're not going to last well against all these. Worth noting. Oh, there goes actually upgrading his Fox magazine now with F242s. Very good there for Fortis. Vickers section again here. The Fultons there. Vickers might want to begin pulling back soon before the line of gun snuffs it out. And there you go. Panzer IV. Model J out there for Fortis. There goes blowing apart the cover. An aggressive maneuver there. Meet retreat there by Fortis. Very good response there. Company command post up. We're probably seeing either a Cromwell here, maybe a Firefly, depending on how Augustine feels about the current situation there from Fortis. What was on Fox makes like head and going out there again. Note he's just sort of trying to increase and just go deep there. So, like, even if he knows his opponent there, he's going to try and go further deeper there to sort of try and outmaneuver his opponent. Panther moving up through the center. In this regard, again, he's very fortunate that Augustine really hasn't gone for tank. Anti-tank is a neat point again. I feel like that third sapper section might have been a sapper too far. Sappers are routed by the Obersoldaten. 2 low on health. Numbers. Steel Pass up for the center here. Pushing through now Augustine's exposed front lines. Ooh, section there tried something out, but that clearly did not end well. Quite the opposite. Good chance here. Wipe. We got the Fox, we got the Fulton, we got the Panzer IV. Down to 1 man, and that I think is a very likely wipe here on Augustine. Yep. No survivors there. Second Vickers setting up there. Left flank, of course, once more exposed here to Fortis as aggressive maneuvers. Fult's going to be a Fox makes out in the opening, getting hosed down by the section of the machine gun. Key troops reinforcing. He can go for the Cromwell, though of course he may decide here to go for a Firefly instead. He's got the fuel now, I guess he needs the manpower, so only a Firefly would be somewhat of a threat to the Panzer IV. There we go, he does commit to the Firefly. He's probably also worried about more armor around there from Fortis. Under the possibility of a Panther. Panther will run in the Vickers. Vickers here versus the Foxymakers. Quickly doing a lot of damage to them. Firefly slugging where that Vickers needs to get out there before it gets buried, entombed within that house. 5 kills in the Panther IV so far. Getting a lot of fuel there compared with Augustine. More than twice as much. Firefly almost done. Also known as the Sherman VC or IC, depending on the model of Sherman. Sabs are doing what they can to the troop back up with the machine guns. Firefly almost done. Fortis, they're keeping a respectable distance. The sappers with his Panzer IV. He's probably figuring something. He's backing up those sappers soon. He doesn't want to risk getting immobilized in front of him. He's stuck. So we got the Firefly moving ahead. They should have the tank commander there. Tulip rockets wouldn't be back choice either. They go directly to the Panzer IV. Cutting off half itself there with a single hit from the 17-pounder gun. Langraskaya gun ultimately be a problem there. We got 4 kills on it so far, close to eventually 2. A desperate counterattack here from Augustine to push back Fortis and his hairy band of Huns. Machine gun crew shuffled off this mortal coil by German artillery. Augustine just charging in there. Of course, the Firefly, while great versus the Panzer IV, is of absolutely no use against the infantry, so it has to just remain there. Foxmakers there, close to veteran. You feel already is just ending British lives left and right. In the end, though, Augustine finally gains at least enough momentum there to push through with. And Fortis has now been forced to ban the front line. He's bringing up a Panzer IV more to try and compete with the Firefly that way. And certainly versus the Firefly, just bring up larger numbers. It's usually a good idea. Vickers moving up. Oh, he counts it for a truck. Might be planning here a mechanized regiment and B, King Tiger. I mean, obviously there's nothing you can build with a truck besides a mechanized regiment, but it might also be a sign of a King Tiger. Which would definitely be a problem there for Augustine, who's down 267 versus Fortis is 439. Troops reinforcing healing. Orbison fighting the moving hit section, they need to be careful. Slowly bleeding out there behind heavy cavalry, grabbing the western victory point. And we got, ooh, flame mortar support here versus Fortis. I'm not entirely sure that's going to be effective. It's more sort of dealing with dug-in Germans, and the problem is right now the enemy who's dug in is Augustine. In this regard, I feel like the fast Royal Engineers' doctrinal choice might have slightly backfired on him. Second of us is advancing Falkmix, Pan forming up as well to support. 5 others nearby ready with a 17-pounder gun. Worth noting is still not upgraded even to say the tank commander, which really would help out the Firefly. And Tula rockets can get over the chance of maybe taking out a Panzer IV. Second MiG is coming up here, protecting against a large-scale German assault from forwards. No blend covers though. That's a bit of an oversight there by Fordes, I would say. Bit of an oversight. Big should have a chance. Oh, there we go. Blend cover off. Bit late though to the party. Troops reinforcing. Still some time for an armor, but at least he's almost got the fuel point back here in the west versus 4S and the 10th SS. Panzer IV moving up. So there you go. Vickers repositioned though, but still ready to cover against any push for the fuel point. Very good. There we go. Panzer IV directed from the Firefly. Back here, troops reinforcing, healing. Falkmix rolling against the Vickers machine gun. Bit of light cover there, helping them out. Ooh, Vickers ultimately forced to retreat. They're bad luck for Augustine. Falkmix is flanking, certainly not helping out there either. Second Vickers, though, ensures the survival of the other Vickers crew. Good, so they've got a trenched Vickers, in fact. So what will Augustine go for next here versus Fordes? Centaur, Cromwell. Ooh, mine goes off there, killing a few Falkmix. Good work. Still could lay down more mines. We got another flame mortar support, probably around here, since there's no dug-in Germans. Could hit them with the Panzer IV. There we go, catching the support into the infantry in some heavy fires, causing several retreats there from Forest from the front line, and of course, causing the building to collapse. Now we got air support in here trying to take out the Firefly blocks, just disrupt Augustine's movements. Nice move there by Forest. Very nasty though. Five to make it right as well here by Augustine. Ground back the center victory point. Back here reinforcement. Panther 4 there, half 8 veteran T2. Sturm Pioneer moving out. Sappers the advancing Sturm Pioneer, so the Sturmers get close to the Sappers submachine guns, they're going to take more damage, and there you go, force straight plus the flamethrowers, of course. Certainly don't make it easier for Fordes. Still no some additional armor. We got the Firefly good to go there for Augustine. Sappers need to fall back. There you go. Western victory point reclaimed for King and Country. For King George. We can go for the Centaur. That would certainly help us with the infantry, of course. With a King Tiger likely inbound, he may need another Firefly. Though, of course, again, if we could sort of clear out the infantry first. Oh, we got a Panther on the way there. Well, may also require another Firefly, at least at Cromwell. Troops are healing and enforcing. Still no upgrades for it, though. I'm a bit surprised at that move by Augustine.
We have 200 points now.
Definitely a bit of an oversight there. Grab the western fuel point for the fatherland. So it's certainly starting to look like here that he was aiming for the King Tiger, but Forrest probably realised that's going to be a bit silly and just aims for the Panther instead, which is less silly. Sappers, sections, Firefly, Vickers all making ready for a western push. Holding off the sin against the line for going to make a move. They could theoretically clear it out and steal and turn against Forrest, but that seems low chance. Falkmix there, veteran feet while ambushing the Sappers. Very good there, but they get caught in the fires. Vickers also could open up and suppress them. Get Bart's larding off here. Ooh. Almost got in the retreat there. Devious move there by Forrest against Augustine and the 1st Canadian Infantry Division. And there you go, we got the Panther out here for Forrest, the Panzerkampfwagen 5. Second, they need to retreat. Vickers behind Counter. We got boob troops here on the western point. Good work there by Forrest. Vickers dealing with advancing troops here. Sappers versus the Falklandiers, pushing them back. And forcing them off the fuel point for the glory of King and Country. And there you go, Panther 4 moving in there. Firefly moving up to deal with that. Panther 4 head on. Tulip rockets deal with greatly against the tank command. The trench goes down. Panther moving up here. Augustine Finally adding the tank commander. Rather late to the party, though. Rather late to the party. There you go. Direct hit on the Panther 4. Firefly dodges shot there from the Panther. Sapper's moving up here. French with an anti-tank grenade, causing Forrest to quickly back off with this Panther. Sturmpani is shouting at the retreating Sappers. Panther falling back here. Firefly setting out again. 6-pounder gun layer focusing to help deal with some of Forrest's armor. Very good idea there for now. Might be planning for the Aviator instead. I mean, that's a bit cheeky and I would say tricky in some fashions, but it also acts as a good bullet sponge there for Augustine to help absorb some of the shots from Forrest's tanks. Eventually 2 gaining the Firefly, very good, but really could do, I think, with the dual rockets, just increase chance of maybe landing a good alpha strike there on the tanks and a chance of just finishing off before they can react. Almost got the Panther there though. Very close one for Augustine, very close. Very close. Panther 4 there in trouble. Can he take it out there? Firefly half HP free. Overkill for blocking the way. Good work there by Forrest. Good work. Oh my, he's about to throw away that one, I think. In this case, managed to turn around here on Forrest. Close one there though for Augustine. That was really close, perhaps too close, but it does seem like he's aiming here for the Churchill Aviary, but he needs a specialization for that to work. Struckers of here for Forrest to help deal with some Augustine support weapons again. Bringing up more counters. Firefly being pulled back for repairs, halfway to the ace level. Now the German push here straight into the Vickers machine gun, and of course no ace level, he's calling flame support. He's really trying to force Forrest away from the victory point there. Does not want to take any chances. Which then indicates that Augustine is starting to feel the pressure, he's starting to feel the heat of the Hun. Now the trench being set up there. Light infantry shots firing away there. Panther and Panther hosting repairs. Struggles was almost done. Not entirely sure what's up with Basil now. Kidnapper sent on the way there for Augustine, so he has decided to go back on that one to be with infantry. I feel a bit late on that. Feels a bit late, too late now. Should have gone for that sooner, and even now with the Panther and the Panther 4 out, I don't know, maybe should have gone for another Firefly to help deal with that better, or maybe wants to bring up another anti-tank gun. Either way, I feel like one Firefly anti-tank gun may not quite be cutting it here for Augustine versus 4S. Folks are setting out. Troops setting out there as well. Well, Augustine will be able to assist here for 4S's assault as he makes a move down the centre. Backed up by Tiller as well. It's going to make it harder here for Augustine to maintain his defensive positions. There you go. Rockets striking down the infantry, being slaughtered as they exit the base. And the trench barely stands. The Vickers machine cleaner is, well, barely alive. It's down to, in fact, just one man standing in a pool of dead people. And there you go. The trench collapsed alongside the last man. Fight makes about 2 there, 4, but down to 2 men. Sent out there for Augustine. Will it be sufficient now to turn the tide here for King and Country versus 4S and Fatherland? Now the trench up there. We got A6 versus 411. Sabas going in there for the kill on the Fallschirmjägers. Quick bun grenade there. Sabas being taken out. Centaur charging in here. And we got another flame mortar support here against 4S here against the light infantry gun to push that away. Catching it and like Kedman a bit. Western point being seized. He can soon go for another Firefly, and double Fireflies would be a notable problem there for 4S's armour. The question is, does Augustine get there? So it means it needs to hold out for that long. Lining up here, the Western victory point, not bad. Centaur moving in. I would say he's taking a slightly perilous route. Might not have been intentional, but he could have to risk getting those struck by something then Pantherfast, in which case that centre's going to go down. For now it's going to act as a defensive point around the centre victory point, threatening to wipe infantry out if they're not careful. But there you go, Panther to the rescue. Need to get the support weapons up this back up the Centaur. And they're not quite there. Go Firefly moving in. Oh, Panzer 4 shot bounces off the Centaur's arm. I didn't know that was possible, actually. But here we are. Great hit from the Firefly and the 6-pounder gun there, and the Panther almost taking out. The Panther moves ahead, but Kevin opening up the Firefly in return. Firefly, there you go, gains ace level. Firefly almost down. 6-pounder gun moving up, Sabbath retreating. Heavy fighting here, there you go. Western Point C, Sabbath moving to with the orbital down to 2 men though. Ends up retreating, doesn't want to risk it. Probably should move that Vickers up a bit further. Firefly down to repairs. In fact, most of what Augustine has is down to repairs or something else. Stuka's going to strike down here at Augustine's main line of defense here around the center victory point. 75 points left here for Augustine versus Forrest. Augustine almost got the western victory point. Trying to find a push up the eastern side again. He's certainly been forgetting about that. Though obviously, the Shroud Panther quarters is certainly locked down his movements in the east, though he could have focused on trying to commit to some fast armor to destroy it, but never did. At least a lot of men to tank against Augustine is now down to just one Sabbath section. Casualties beginning to really pile up here for the Canadians, the 1st Canadian Infantry Division, which largely operate, I think, around British Army lines with a lot of the same equipment, really. Fun fact, Panther 4 moving ahead here, close to the veterinary fleet. There we go, bad news for Augustine. Well, on top of all the other bad news, he's already dealing with a great deal of which is there's a lot of Germans coming at him. Folks make us halfway to the ace of their 32 kills. Certainly done their part for the fatherland. 58 points left here for Augustine and the British Army. Got the western point seized. Another section for Augustine. Late to the party, and there goes straight into a bun grenade. Almost got them wiped. But not quite, and there you go. So close to the ace level. Getting a good peppering there from the center. Close to veterans 1-6 killed there. Got returned for the returns the favour though. Almost takes it out. And the center goes down. A staggering blow there from Augustine. Was a bit too slow to retreat there. A staggering blow. Section almost done. Fights me trying to get into the trench, but there you go. Blenkerber gets them out of the trench and also ensures they can't just jump back in either. Quite effective trench and tool there for Forrest, and the fights make us 37 kills. They've really done a great job there against Augustine. Great job there. Something was, I know, cancelled by the sound of it. I don't know. Getting into the trench again. No Blenkerber. This time just the bum grenade. The Blenkerber's almost one off. Oh, doesn't get out in time. Section about to get wiped out. Panther moving ahead there. Got the Firefly in return. Still no chilled rockets. Rocket strikes down to the base. Casualties piling up for Augustine more and more. Going for hammer tactics. Oh, got the Panther 4, but I feel like hammer tactics might be a bit too late now for Augustine. Bit too late. Also, that Vickers really should be further ahead there. I can understand why he might be a bit worried about coming in too far ahead, but I feel like he's in some ways playing a bit too statically here versus Forrest. So with all the artillery he has, just digging in trenches may not be the most optimal tactical choice there for Augustine, and strategic choice for that matter. Sturmpioneer moving in. Got the Stuka, a bit of nose out there with Forrest. Got 24 points left. He's charging everything at the victory points here. 6 minutes for the western one. Sending some heavy losses here for Forrest against Augustine and the British. Random gunner off. Section versus the orbital done. 20 kills. The Chemnitz moving up to contest the point here. We got 9 versus 8. Things are closing in here on Augustine and the British. 7. Just contesting here. Panther moving in. Boldly, and there you go, full swing from the south as well there. 5 points left. 5 opening up here. Good hit on the Panther. 4 points left. 3. Almost got the anti-tank gun there. Almost got the western, so we've got 1 point left, and I think that is it. GG. Game over there. A loss for Augustine. A bit of fight. I feel like Augustine, while he had an interesting strategy, committed to many saps, didn't get Vickers machine gun soon enough, which overall gave Forrest a lot more freedom of movement. Also used to mind more. I think that also helped slow down Forrest a lot. So in that regard, Augustine in many ways failed to just slow down Forrest's strategy, whereas Forrest just, after the initial setbacks, just went in very hard, and Nemo was able to disrupt Augustine's strategy quite well. That overall just gave him the upper hand, and Augustine just never managed to break that pattern. Like constantly Forrest disrupting his strategy, and Augustine was just ended up reacting to Forrest's disruption ultimately just slowing him down time and time again. So ended up being to an almost an extent there that Augustine was just dancing along to Forrest's tune. Though again, he made some good moves here and there, but ultimately it's just never enough because his force composition never allowed for it. Like, he never should, I think, have gone for triple sappers like that. And I think that was one of the, major issues as well. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this match. I've learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell friends, tell family, but don't tell your enemies. This is Imperial Links and cheers. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you all tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.